Welcome back to the Get Off the Treadmill podcast for small business owners and entrepreneurs, where we show you how to build a successful business and to have a life too. We're going to dive into another topic that helps us make more money in less time and to get off the treadmill so we can experience a life of significance. And now, your host and the author of the #1 best-selling business book, Making Money is Killing Your Business, Chuck Blakeman.
Today, I'm talking with Carey Lindeman, the owner of Promise Care. With nearly 2 decades of entrepreneurial experience and a proven track record of success, Carey stands as a beacon of inspiration in the world of business. She's the founder and visionary of the thriving home care company called Promise Care, dedicated to serving seniors. And she's honed her skills in leadership, compassion, and serving her clients. She's driven by a passion for helping others succeed, and she's amassed a wealth of diverse business experience that spans industries and continents. And now she's embarking on a new chapter in her journey as a 3 to 5 Club co-facilitator in a chapter of 3 to 5 Club in Minnesota. She is dedicated to empowering individuals to achieve their full potential and create a business that allows them freedom to enjoy their business and have time to enjoy all the riches of life while they still own their business. Welcome, Carey. It's great to have you with us.
Thanks, Chuck. Thanks for having me here.
You bet. Well, last time we talked about how being in business community generically, and then the 4 building blocks of business community or of a business, lifetime goals, strategic planning, freedom mapping, and outside eyes, how those work for you. So if you haven't listened to Carey's last podcast with us, I strongly encourage you to get to that. And we're going to do a short one today on getting rid of the whole idea of selling. We use this moniker, serve, don't sell. And what we talk about there is the idea that we should just stop selling. We should get people where they want to buy and walk the line of serving people relationally instead of transactionally. We use the concept of what we call FasTrak, which is a course that we developed. But Carey, I just want to talk to you a little bit first, just open the conversation with the idea of being a transactional selling person versus a relationship selling person. You're a relationship person. So I'm guessing you may not have ever sold transactionally, but maybe you did. Did you have to make that transition, or was that something you just did naturally? Because I had to make the transition.
I made the transition in my head. I
Right.
think what I love to do is I love the concepts that FasTrak, teaches us. I think they're not natural. They don't come to us naturally. I think they're more natural, but they don't always come to us naturally when it comes to business. We feel like we need to be out there really pounding the pavement, selling. The way that it's described in FasTrak, it's a lot more fun.
Well, I
It's
appreciate
a lot
that.
more fun.
Yeah, I think I have a book it will probably be out by the time that this podcast comes out. But we talk in that book, it's called Sell Less, Earn More. And we talk about serve, don't sell as the principle. And the idea that selling shouldn't be something that's painful. This is a book written specifically for business owners. And I don't know about you, but when I went into business my first time, I built 13 businesses. But even in the very first one, I didn't want to actually sell. I wanted to just do my service, or in some cases, create your product. I didn't want to sell it. I wanted to just be involved in it. But selling comes along with that. And so it becomes a necessary evil almost. Most business owners don't like selling. We call this the anti-sales book. How do we get to where we can stop selling and actually enjoy it? So what are some of the things that you found in FasTrak and just the principles of being a relationship person? How did you find those in FasTrak? What's one thing that worked for you that you found a lot more fun?
Well, I think it's bringing in people, first of all. You find out who your lumberjacks are. Those are the people that know your clients and your customers before you do. And building those relationships, that's been really fun. And it works. I mean, you have to stay in touch. You have to keep whatever it happens to be. If it's a drip email, if it's a happy birthday card or whatever it happens to be, you stay in touch with those people. The other thing we did just recently is a Catalyst event where we had a breakfast. We invited all people we knew. And of course, you talk about your business, you make it fun. You don't sell, but you just discuss, everybody talks about their business, but you're top of mind with everybody there. And that was very fun, having this catalyst event.
Yeah. So you mentioned a couple of things that come out of FasTrak. And again, these are principles that are out in the world around us. The idea of a lumberjack, you can do two things if you want to get a bunch of wood. You can go to the forest and chop it down yourself, or you can find a lumberjack who's already been there and just get the wood from them. And the corollary to that in business is you can go to a networking group and you can find one customer at a time, which is, you can do it. I've done it. Or you can find someone who has done all that for years and has hundreds of people in their database who find a reason that it would be of benefit to their customers to begin to send them to you. Get to know that one lumberjack, that one person who's already been to the forest and cut, dried, and stacked and seasoned all those relationships. And now they just start sending them to you. It's a lot more fun. It's a lot easier. And it's more like having a barbecue with your neighbors instead of stabbing people with your business cards who are strangers.
Exactly. And you don't need more than 3.
Yeah.
Really, maybe 4, but because you have to stay in touch with these people. You want to stay in touch with them.
Yeah, we found that if you have 3 or 4 lumberjacks and existing clients and past clients and friends, that's all you need. Once you get this running, you don't need to be involved in the high pressure, I got to find 20 more strangers to talk at. You just don't need that anymore because you're constantly being referred to by those few people and you're doing the same thing for them. You're sending them clients. So that's one principle. And then you talked about catalyst events. Catalyst events is simply a way for 2 business owners to do that more deliberately. What if I brought 6 people to a very small event and the other business owner brought 6 people that they already know? So we're not talking to strangers. And we introduce each other to those people and we have a barbecue or we have a golf event or we have there's an educational event. There's so many things you could do, but you introduce those 6 people that you already know to that other person. They introduce them to you. And it's a transference thing. Those 6 people love Carey and Carey says, hey, I love Tom. And so they show up expecting to love Tom. It's really an unfair advantage. And so there's a tremendous opportunity to cross-pollinate relationships by simply being together as friends.
And that's memorable events, I find.
Yeah.
We meet new people, we have a few laughs, you get to know each other on a deeper level. And plus they get some information while they're there. And people really like that. And you are top of mind. If they think of somebody that might be able to use your business or your service or your product, they're going to think of you. I mean, you've gone out of your way and it's fun.
Yeah, I think one of the principles that we use, you mentioned in an oblique way, one of the principles we use that was out there in the ether for decades, nobody wants to be sold, but everybody wants to buy. It's one of those odd things. I don't want to be sold anything, but I definitely like buying stuff. And so how do we change the dynamic? Because we're out there trying to sell. Well, I don't want to be sold. How do we reverse that relationship to where I'm no longer selling and they want to buy? That's built on relationship and it's built on trust. And it doesn't come from stabbing strangers with your business card. You've got to do that with people you already know, or you have to do that with people who know you, who can transfer that relationship to you with warmth already included in the relationship. It's like, well, Bob likes Chuck. I guess I like Chuck until Chuck proves I shouldn't. That's a whole different place than showing up suspicious as a stranger.
Correct. And I mean, I was, learned that when you meet somebody at a networking event, are you going to hand over your keys to your house to that person? Well, of course not. Now, if I meet somebody through somebody at an event and we have a relationship, yeah, maybe because I trust the person that they brought,
You're certainly
that they said is a good person.
Exactly. You're certainly starting at a much higher level of imputed trust because this person was referred to you and they said, trust me, you're going to like Carey. Okay. I'm going to start with, I think I'm going to like Carey instead of, I'm suspicious of Carey and I wonder what she's going to try and sell me. And we talk about the 4 buying questions so that when we get with someone, we don't stab them with our business cards or do our marketing presentation. Stop me when you see something you like. We do something else. We ask them 4 questions that simply show interest in the other person. How did you experience that when you started doing that with other people? I'm just going to ask you a few questions, not about your business, just 4 questions that will actually open us up as human beings who want to relate to each other. How did you experience the 4 buying questions?
How I experienced it, you mean when I had a
Yeah,
catalyst
just when
event
you,
or what?
yeah, when you use them with other people, like how did you get the past, the present, the future questions, and just using those to be interested in other people?
Well, what happens is you are interested in what they're doing.
Yeah.
You're not waiting for them to ask you a question so you can open up and spill out everything that you know about your own business. And something I learned is sometimes people will start asking me about my business right away, and you start talking, but then I stop. I quickly change the subject to them.
Yeah.
Because I think, again, that, it isn't a one-sided conversation. I want to show interest in them. That's how they're going to really feel heard and start to trust me.
And then you mentioned this before, either in this podcast or the last one we did, I can't remember, but you talked about these things being things that are not natural to us, and yet they are natural, but we've really had them beaten out of us. I call this stuff counter-logical. People would say this is counterintuitive. No, it's very intuitive, but it's counter-logical. We've been taught that you need to sell at people. And I'm here to tell you that over 20 years of doing FasTrak and training people in this 10-week course and just giving them the principles that are in this book, I challenge business owners regularly, never talk about your business again in a one-to-one unless you're asked. And if you take that on, you will make more money. It's counter-logical, but it's really intuitive. If you show interest in the other person, they are going to turn around and say, well, tell me about your business. You clearly aren't chasing me. You clearly are interested in me as a human being. So I really am interested in you. Tell me about yours. And now you can talk. So I love that you've adopted that and seen the value in that principle.
Builds a relationship. And it's, I think sometimes people will think, or I have in the past for sure, okay, I have 30 minutes. I've got to get out everything I can to sell this person.
Yeah.
And I do just the opposite now. And actually, it works much better. Yeah. Develop clients from it much easier, and referral partners much easier.
Well, we've just scratched the surface. We haven't talked about the 4 walking in commitments or gold veins or recency and frequency or any of the other things that help us be relational instead of transactional. But we'll give people an opportunity to do that at another time. I'd love for people to figure out how to get a hold of you. You're already in a 3 to 5 club in Minneapolis.
Right.
So how can people get a hold of you to find out how to do these things and how to get into business community?
Carey, Carey, at 325club.com.
Great. And the two is TO, 3 to 5 club.
TO.
The number 3, yep. TO, and the number 5. Carey, this has been a delight. I love what you're doing. I so appreciate your experience as a business owner and how you bring that to 3 to 5 club. And I'm excited for you guys up there in Minneapolis to continue to grow and figure out how to put freedom in your business. Appreciate you.
Thanks so much, Chuck. It's been great.
That wraps up another episode of the Get Off the Treadmill podcast. If you found this podcast helpful, please subscribe and hit the like button to ensure you are receiving the latest tools you need to grow your business and to get off the treadmill. If you want more information on the 3 to 5 Club, the Crankset Group, or to book Chuck as a business advisor, speaker, or workshop leader, you can contact us at grow, Grow, at cranksetgroup.com. Until next time, have a great week.